Good morning and happy Wednesday. This is Glenda Robichaux, and with me, as always, is Julie Gromitz. And we are excited to be here on this snowy Wednesday, December morning, December 13th. And I will be talking about caring for the caregiver.
I have to say, Glenda, I'm really excited for you to be sharing about this topic. I know it's been something that's been on your heart for quite some time now, and I think that it is, you have such a wealth of knowledge to share.
Oh, thank you.
What a perfect time of year to be talking about this, right? I think that we have a tendency to give, but don't take care of ourselves enough. So, very excited.
Well, thank you.
So on our agenda today, we're going to start off with a little bit of news from corporate. We have our leadership call on the, first Monday, second Monday of the month. And we just had that last week, or this past, a couple days ago. I just talked to him, heard him. Anyway, so we'll be going over that, our December promotions, the Caring for the Caregiver, and our upcoming events. So in regards to the leadership call, this was so exciting. We have grown so exponentially. In 2017, we had 13,000 new silvers, 500 new golds, 223 new platinums, 127 new diamonds, 31 new blue diamonds, and 21, I'm sorry, does that look right?
Yeah.
11 presidential diamonds. How awesome. 31 blue diamonds, 21 of them were in the US. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what my numbers were there. 11 new presidential diamonds. Isn't that amazing? How fantastic. We are touching so many lives with these great products, and I am just super excited about that.
It's pretty darn awesome.
Mm-hmm. So they talked about our new Empowered Success system that we have available to us. And I believe that we've got one of these webinars coming up ourselves on a Wednesday webinar. And what they are excited to announce is that we're going to be having a train by rank option coming soon. So currently we've got the Live, and that is for any new member to doTERRA, whether they just want to be a customer or a builder. Any new member should have a lifestyle overview. So if you enroll when you enroll someone, you'll definitely want to give them that and walk them through it so they know how to best use their products. They've got the share guide for anyone interested in hosting an event. The build guide is a fantastic business overview talking about our compensation plan. And then the launch guide is a opportunity to help launch someone to that first step of elite. And then the train by rank will be for premier, silver, gold, platinum, and I believe there's one going to be coming for diamond as well. And how exciting to announce, we've got our regional summit and our wellness summits coming up. So hop on to doTERRA.com. They've got a spot for events, and they've got them listed out there. All of the, or they will have them listed out there, all of the dates and locations for that coming up. Glenda, did you catch the dates for the one here in Minneapolis?
Oh, I want to say it's in February.
I want to say you're right, and I will go grab that in just a little bit, and we'll have that for you before the end of our call today. But yeah, so check it out. We've got some amazing things coming up. The regional summits are product only. And so those, they typically have a scientist that comes in and really talks about some good science stuff with that. They're attaching a day for diamonds. They're doing a a diamond day, and there'll be a qualification period. And I don't think it's just for diamonds. I think it's maybe for people striving to diamonds. So I think that that'll be a little bit of business training with that in the regional summit. But then the wellness summits, those are going to have both product and sales and business training attached. So I hope that makes sense. I think the regional summits are typically for areas where they have a lot of builders already. And when they have a lot of builders in one particular area, they assume that they're already doing some great sales and business trainings in that area, which is why Minneapolis here is going to have a regional summit. And then they've got wellness summits that offer those product sales and business for areas of the country that might not have as highly populated doTERRA places. So check it out. Awesome info. And doTERRA every month does their own webinar as well. And this coming one is on holiday hacks. So it's starting today. They've got, I think, 6 different options to watch it live. And then they've got a opportunity to go back and watch past recordings as well. So December promos. Do you want to talk about our promos here, Glenda?
Certainly. So frankincense, this is so awesome. This month, if you place a 200 PV order, you get a free bottle of frankincense, which is incredible. Frankincense at wholesale is about almost $70, and at retail is above $90. So that's a huge savings. And frankincense is good for so many things. And then our product that's 10% off this month is myrrh. So frankincense is kind of the father of all oils, and myrrh is kind of the mother of all oils. They're both tree resins. And make sure you get them this month, both of them, because they're amazing. Oh, and if you have an order, let's say because you're doing a lot of holiday shopping for people and you're getting them oils, if you're going to end up having an order that's close to 400 PV, you want to make sure that you split those 2 orders, because for every 200 PV order, up to 4 orders, you get a free bottle of frankincense. So if you're getting close, just make sure to separate those orders out so you get more than 1 free bottle of frankincense.
Mm-hmm. And if you have any questions on gift ideas, doTERRA's got a lot of really great things that they have put together as little kits. So they've got this great introductory kit that's lemon, lavender, and peppermint. It's a cute little trio. And it comes in this cute little box. When you're ordering under your loyalty rewards program, they've got under kits, check out the leadership kits. They've actually got the opportunity to buy 6 of these trio packs for $115, which is an amazing price for 18 bottles of oil. And it will give you 100 PV for that 6-pack. So it's a really great way to get to that. Free Frank. And then they've got under kits and collections, they've got the spa kit and the athletes kit, which are other great little gifty ideas. And I don't want to hesitate to tell you about gifting someone an enrollment. You know, if someone has been wanting to do this for a while and the money has been a hindrance for them, what a beautiful gift that would be. You know, we've got the Aroma Touch Diffused Kit, which the diffuser is awesome, and there's 8 oils in there that are tremendous to be used together as an aroma touch, but on their own, they've all got some amazing benefits to them as well. And then the Family Essentials Kit and Beadlets is another great collection, a great way to get somebody started on their doTERRA journey.
Ooh, and the product of the month, Holiday Joy. It's funny, I was diffusing this the other day, and when my hubby got home from work, he walked in the house and he was like, ooh, are you diffusing Holiday Joy? I was like, yes. It just makes the house smell so delicious. So you get a free bottle of that if you place your LRP by the 15th. So you've still got 2 days. Make sure it's 125 PV or more. That's how you get this beautiful little ornament and a 5 ml bottle of Holiday Joy.
And holiday items that are still available, and I hate to say it, the beautiful touch is no longer available. No, but the holiday joy is, and like you said, it is free this month. The holiday piece in a 5 mil, I believe, is still available with the Moroccan reed diffuser. So that's a fun little gifty idea as well. All right, Miss Glenda, I am super excited about your talk today on caring for the caregiver. I got my notepad and pen and I'm ready to listen.
Well, thank you, dear. I just want to start by giving a little background about how this all came about. I will be graduating in, a week or so with my Master's of Arts in Holistic Health Studies. And part of the program is to complete a practicum. And I did my practicum with Pathways in Minneapolis. It's a nonprofit clinic that offers free services to those that are chronically and terminally ill. And they also offer free services to the caregiver. And when I was first started my program, they talked about Pathways, one of my very first classes. And I was really intrigued and kind of excited. They offer massage, acupuncture, energy healing, and all the practitioners that offer services there are all volunteers. And I was so excited because my mom has been caregiving for my father for many years, and I thought this is going to be great for my mom. So I went and I told her about it, and she was like, Glenda, I just don't have time to drive somewhere, and their clinic is in Uptown. She said, I can't drive to Uptown to go have self-care for myself. And it made me so sad because caregivers need self-care so badly. So for my practicum, I approached Pathways and I offered, I wanted to do something that caregivers could access online. So a lot of what I've pulled together today is really pulling from my practicum that I completed, and hopefully it will be available on their website soon. But I created all these little videos about caregiving, and the first two videos were more educational. Julie, if you could advance the slide for me, dear. I did a tutorial on stress because I think there's something that people don't understand about stress. So our bodies are really awesome, and they're designed to deal with stress. So back in the day when we were being chased by tigers, if your body feels a threat, it kicks into high gear, and that's when your adrenaline kicks in so you can outrun that tiger. But what it does in that meantime is it starts to shut down the body systems that you don't need when you're outrunning the tiger. So if you're outrunning a tiger, you really don't need to be digesting your food. But the tiger will eventually, you will outrun it, and the threat ends. So then your body goes back to kind of a normal function. What's happening in today's world is that there are more people living under chronic stress. And chronic stress is where the tiger never stops chasing you. And our body can't really differentiate between, it could be a tiger chasing you, or it could be being stuck in traffic and being late for work, and then forgetting what you needed for work and forgetting your phone. And that it's just the way our lives are now, we're in constant stress mode because there's so many things coming at us. I like to think of I really try to be conscious of when I go onto Facebook, although a lot of times I open it up and I forget why I opened the app. But really, you want to be in more of control of what you're seeing and what's coming at you. Because those things can also stress the body. Watching a action thriller movie can stress the body. The body doesn't know the difference between watching violence on TV and having a tiger chase you in person. It kicks the body into gear. I hope that makes sense. Oh, yeah. So today, a lot more of us are living in chronic stress. Well, the longer your body stays in that chronic stress mode, the more systems that it deactivates because you're still trying to outrun the tiger. So digestion becomes an issue. so many other systems, which I mean, I could do a whole webinar on that, but we'll just kind of keep it simple today. And so I really like the little image there, because the longer you stay in stress, your body's affected, your mind is affected, your emotions are affected, and so is your behavior. So that's something I just wanted to kind of paint a picture. If you feel stressed, you want to make sure that you're getting something that helps bring you back to balance. So meditating would help even you back out, or exercising, just doing something else to break up the stress. We want the tiger to stop chasing us. Next slide, please. Thank you. And then, so the next piece, the next video I made was surrounding compassion fatigue. And it was really interesting. The more I prepared all of my information throughout the semester, as I would mention compassion fatigue to friends that I have that are caregiving for parents. And they would get this look on their face. They'd be like, oh my God, I have that, but I don't really understand it, but I know I have it. And this definition is just, it kind of paints a nice picture, so I'll just read it out loud here. Compassion fatigue is a state experienced by those helping people or animals in distress. It is an extreme state of tension and preoccupation with the suffering of those being helped, to the degree that it can create a secondary traumatic stress for the helper. So what that means is, you're caregiving for someone, you're giving everything you have to that person, but it's also causing a traumatic stress for you as well, because you're not getting what you need because you're giving everything to that other person. And so this is something that I really wanted to create more awareness around, because I think a lot of people don't know. And I think too, a lot of us that are drawn to sharing doTERRA with others, we're all very compassionate people, and we all want to help people, that it's really important to understand some of these things. Perhaps you might not be a caregiver necessarily for someone who's ill, but you're probably caring for people in other ways. And it's just really important to kind of stay in tune with your body and know when it's time, to take care of yourself. So there's a few websites I just wanted to list here. I should have put Pathways. I think it's just pathwaysminneapolis.org. And like I said, again, they are a clinic in Uptown that offers free services for those that are terminally and chronically ill, and for the caregiver. Then there's this website, compassionfatigue.org. It gives a lot more information about compassion fatigue. It also has links to some assessments. And one of the assessments on their website is the life stressor questionnaire. And when I was preparing this information, I took that assessment, and holy smokes. I try to think I'm a really calm person, but I've had a lot of very, what's on that assessment is being deemed very stressful. I have a sick father. I moved in the last year. I'm graduating. Like, if you look at all the different events in your life and it helps you score them, it was really an eye-opener for the different things that I have going on in my life and how I have to be sure to take care of myself. So check that out. And then there's also an assessment on there for if you are caring for someone. There's a quality of life assessment, and it's just a really neat website. Another website that you can check out too is healthycaregiving.com. And they just offer some, of course, resources for staying healthy and what that looks like. So part of what I put together for Pathways as a result of these two educational pieces was then I created all these little peaceful pockets. And it's really important when you're caregiving. You can go to the next slide. And just for anyone in general, is thinking of your self-care like the gas tank in your car. And when you're taking care of yourself and you're feeling good, you feel amazing, like you can take on the world, and then you're able to help people more easily. But when that gauge starts getting to empty, that's when things start to get scary. That's when you start to get sick. That's when you start to feel depressed. That's when caring for that other person becomes so much harder because you have nothing left to give. And I can't stress this enough, the example of the oxygen mask. So when you're on a plane and they say, if the oxygen gets too low and the oxygen masks fall, make sure that you put on your mask first before helping others. Because if you can't breathe, how can you help someone else breathe? And self-care is kind of that same way. How can you care for someone else if you're not taking care of yourself? And what's really interesting is this last 3 to 4 months that I've been focusing on this. And, I've created videos and I've listened to them many times. So I'm listening to my own voice tell me, you need to do self-care. And I've gotten better at it these last few months because I've realized just how important it is. And it's so much easier to help someone else when you yourself are in a good space. And so that brings me to my next slide. And that's where I invite you to think about what fills your cup with joy. What makes you happy? And I'm noticing we have a question, Julie.
Oh.
I'm just going to. Oh, somebody's just checking. Yes, you're on mute. So I want you to think about what fills your cup with joy. And if you have a piece of paper nearby, I invite you to start jotting some notes down. It might be different for you. These are some things that make me happy. But what I was thinking about is when I'm really stressed out and kind of at my wit's end, I'm not always thinking clearly, and I don't necessarily remember, oh yeah, I should do that. That makes me happy. So I would invite you to create a list and post it, just post it somewhere that you know where it's at. Whether it's leaving it on your nightstand or posting it on your desk somewhere, just knowing that these are things that make you happy. So some of my favorite ones are, I get acupuncture regularly. Of course, essential oils that had to be on there. Time with friends, reading a book, perhaps meditating or praying. Perhaps you have some animals, spending time with them. There's nothing more wonderful than a bath with some Epsom salts and essential oils. Something else that I find is amazing is gratitude journaling. So either at the start or the end of every day, just jotting down 3 things you're grateful for. It really helps to shift your mindset. So when you do get into some hairy situations, you start to see more of the positive because you're focusing on that. If you like to do arts and crafts or painting or jewelry making, cooking, listening to music, and spending time in nature. So I invite you to create your own list and just keep it somewhere where you know where it's at. Excuse me, I'm getting all choked up here. So, keeping essential oils in mind and being that's what we focus on, I wanted to share this recipe because it's one of my favorites, and I love to keep this one in my purse. So if you have a 10 ml rollerball, clary sage, bergamot, grapefruit, wild orange, frankincense, and lemon, make this beautiful chill pill blend. It's so citrusy and amazing. And the clary sage and the frankincense kind of round out the citrus notes. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's a great one to just have on you in your purse or, in your car, apply to your pulse points and behind your ears. And then also in the picture I made here, I put all of our blends that help with your mood. So before we had our emotional aromatherapy oils, we had our mood oils, which were balance, serenity, elevation, and citrus bliss is missing. Those are great ones to help with your mood. I know yesterday I had a Glenda day and it was awesome, and I put on my diffuser necklace and I put elevation in it, and I just every so often throughout the day I got that waft of elevation. It just made me smile. And then of course our emotional aromatherapy oils, those are just incredible. So motivate, peace, console, passion, forgive, cheer. Those are just, never leave home without them. And it's a very stressful time of year if you're caregiving or even if you're not caregiving. The holidays create so many extra things to do and expectations. So I would invite you to possibly let go of some of those expectations and just focus on your own happiness and self-care. Maybe you have to forgive others during this time, or maybe you need some console just for your own heart during this time. So just really tap into those emotional oils that for how they can help you cope through the holidays. Next. And yes, energy boosting oils. I found this picture and I love purple and it's so pretty. I had to make the whole slide. But I wanted to give you some ideas for energy boosting oils, because it's really easy to get drained, and especially, we've got less daylight during the day, but we seem to have more to do. So I guess that's one thing I would invite you to do first is evaluate what really needs to be done and let go of the small stuff. But some great oils for boosting energy are mint oils. So basil, peppermint, rosemary, spearmint. And basil and rosemary are amazing to apply right over your adrenal glands, which actually sit right on your kidneys. And I've done that a few times with basil, and sometimes I can almost just feel the energy surge going through my body. It's like, woo, I'm ready to go again. So those are great ones to have on hand. And citrus oils are very uplifting, and they're great to combine with the mint oils. So wild orange, lemon, lime, bergamot, or tangerine. And in case you didn't know, our Motivate blend is actually a combination of mint and citrus. So again, reaching for that Motivate for a little energy boost.
I'm going to tell you one of my favorite things to do when I'm feeling a little like I'm dragging my feet. 1 drop basil and 2 drops either tangerine, wild orange, or grapefruit in an 8-ounce glass of water. The flavor is phenomenal, but the adrenal boost and the uplifting nature of the oils really does give me that kick in the pants that I need to keep moving, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great 3 o'clock in the afternoon drink.
Yes. And something else that I kind of forgot about these last few months, and I've been completely exhausted just wrapping up the semester at school, is Mito 2 Max.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that supplement is amazing. You might not want to take that later in the day. It'd be one that you want to start out the day with, but don't be afraid to reach for that Mito 2 Max. And another aspect of caregiving, I've realized this was kind of all over the place, but I wanted to touch on so many things, is that I think a lot of people who caregive sometimes have trouble sleeping. Because they're always thinking about that other person. They're always thinking about what needs to happen, what's going to happen the next day. And their mind kind of never stops. So I wanted to give a few tips for helping with sleep. And the first one is our Serenity Soft Gels. Those are beautiful. Taking 2 about 30 minutes before you're ready to go to bed and set up a diffuser while you're taking those soft gels. Get the diffuser going in your bedroom. Some lovely combinations for diffusing at night would be lavender and cedarwood, or copaiba and Siberian fir, serenity or vetiver and lavender. So that would be kind of, if you wanted to kind of put yourself in a routine, it'd be great to really be turning off all technology about 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed. And then just really kind of putting your mind in that sleeping zone. Another thing too, I was just reading an article the other day about clutter in the bedroom. And you really want a decluttered space for sleeping, because if your room is a mess, while you're sleeping, your mind is kind of analyzing the mess around you, if that makes sense. So if you can really declutter the bedroom, then your mind just has, it kind of lets go of some of that clutter. Another thing you could do possibly before going to bed in that 30 minutes is some meditation or prayer, or taking a bath, or just perhaps sitting and reflecting and journaling, or doing a gratitude journal and having some tea. So those were just some ideas for helping with sleep. I think, again, this time of year, we get kind of squirrely and crazy. So a lot of these things that I mentioned today, they really apply for all of us. But I just really wanted to keep that focus of, if you are caregiving and maybe you're caregiving for your child or your parents or your grandparents or a neighbor or friends, just whatever that looks like in your world, just be sure that you honor yourself and where you're at and take care of yourself and fill your cup with self-care first. Oh, and I just love this. I thought this was so adorable. Not only does that little doggy almost look like my doggy.
I thought it was your dog.
It's not. But I loved this quote. A person with a generous heart and compassion for all beings leads the most blessed life. Mm. You know, I think with doTERRA, we really do. We have an amazing blessing in our hands that we can help share with other people. And it's just really, it's a gift. So I just wanted to end with that quote because it's beautiful.
What a fantastic thing that you've put together for us, Glenda. I kept writing down names of people that I am going to be sure to send this video to personally, because there's, I think, so much great information for us. And, you know, people keep coming into my world laying down on my table and their shoulders are up to their ears because they do have the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some fantastic tips and tricks to let go of some of that, or at least shift how you are dealing with it.
Yes, and that's also a great point. So what I created, and as soon as it's up with Pathways, I'll be sure to share it, but I also did an exercise in letting go. And, you know, again, in that video, I invite people to grab a piece of paper and just really kind of scribble or write just whatever is weighing on them, just to let it go, because we carry way too many things around with us. And a lot of it we have no control over. So why we're holding on to it is kind of an interesting thing. It was funny because last night I was a little squirrely, and when my hubby came home, I don't know what I said, but I said, oh, you know, I have a little bit of this crazy thing called stress going on. I said, perhaps you've heard about it before. He goes, oh yeah, that's right. That's when you're worrying about stuff that you have absolutely no control over, isn't it? I was like, oh, wow, thank you. Yes. But he was right on. I mean, there's so many things right now, you know, that we just have no control over. And if you can let that go and just really focus on being in the moment, it's very cool. So anyway.
Yeah, you know, I keep being reflected back to that serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I just love that. And I've heard of a different version. Grant me to, what is it? Accept the people I cannot change. Courage to change the people I can. And the wisdom to know that that's me. And I don't know. I love going back to that. And it's kind of become a mantra in these super stressful times, because it does really just bring things back to, what do I have control over? What don't I have control over? And how can I let that go?
Yep.
So.
Mm-hmm. And what oil would be great for letting that go?
Oh,
lemongrass.
Lemongrass. I want to say wintergreen and cypress is the oil of going with the flow.
Oh, yes.
And one that I really fell in love with throughout a super stressful point in my life was actually coriander. Nope. Hang on. It was cardamom.
Ooh.
Cardamom is great for helping people deal with anger and people that feel frustrated. to help them stop blaming others and find a way to take personal ownership. Cilantro oil is the oil of releasing control. So that can be a good one as well.
Yep.
What was it? You're paging through your book just as I am.
Yes. Another good one would be either clove or melaleuca. Both of those are great for boundaries.
Boundaries, yeah.
Yes.
Coriander. This is why this is what I thought it was. Okay, so coriander is great for the person who may be trapped in a cycle of serving others while neglecting their own needs. They have a strong desire to do what is right and correct. Often the mind's perspective of the right way is too limited and seen from only one perspective. It reminds individuals that there is more than one way to do something, and that fitting in often requires betraying the true self. So it really helps you to figure out what it is that you need to do for yourself, instead of only doing things for other people.
Yeah. A little tangent there. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah. Love this book. Okay, so our next, honestly, I don't think we changed up these events, so apologize about that one.
Oops.
Gonna move right on back to this one. Our next webinars that we have coming up, I know that we've got one coming up on the oils of the Bible. We've got one coming up on our empowered success system that we're going to work through. And I think that we should maybe throw something in there for the beginning of the year for maybe putting together some good SMART goals and creating some ways to really formulate how we want our next year to be.
And something else I'd like to add, Julie, to people that, are enjoying these, we would love to hear what you're looking for in the webinars. We would also be very open and love to have guest presenters.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you feel called to share or something that you're looking for, please let us know, because we are very open to anything.
Absolutely. And I don't have the exact dates coming up yet, but every month we do a team night. Typically it's the first Tuesday, but the first Tuesday falls right after the first of the year. So we're going to do the second Tuesday is our team night, and that's held out in St. Louis Park.
And that would be January 9th.
Yep. And our second Saturday in the morning, 8 a.m., we are going to be doing our business training. So if sharing the oils has really been a heart-filled way for you to work throughout your life, I would love for you to join us in our business trainings and show you how easy it is and how great it is to be able to share these oils and get paid for it too. So feel free to join us. Again, it was the second Saturday in the morning, 8 a.m. And the second Tuesday, January 9th, is our team night, and that's going to be 6:30 p.m., and that will be out in St. Louis Park.
And January 13th is the second Saturday of the month.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Glenda.
Yes, sorry we forgot to update that slide.
Next time. We're forgiving ourselves for that.
That's right. We're letting it go.
All right, guys. Have a fantastic week, and we'll be on again next Wednesday.
Oh, we have questions.
Oh, yay.
Oh, said we did awesome.
Oh.
Will you list these classes somewhere? Yes, they will be listed on the Oilers with a Mission Facebook page.
Yep.
And then, of course, on our Wednesday webinar when we update the slides. So thank you, everyone that joined us today, and have a wonderful day.